Hello, Algebra 1A people. For Buchanan, we're taking a look at this combining like term equations, and I'm going to want to walk and talk you through these so you could pause this as we move forward. I know I'm not doing it exactly like Miss Buchanan does with her line, and I'm not showing my work, but I'm going to be talking about the work as I go through here, okay? So I put my one n here. I have an n here. There's no one with it, but you're just supposed to understand that's one n, right? So that's 1n plus 4n gives me 5n. I bring everything else down. I have a plus 4, I have an equals, and a negative 16. I subtract 4 from both sides in order to get this 5n by itself. Negative 16 minus 4 gives me 20. I divide both sides by 5, and negative 20 divided by 5 gives me the negative 4. When I divide by 5, I'm left with my n. That's why I did it. That's why I'm doing this. I want to get the n by itself. You can go through and take a look at these. Number 3, I'm combining the negative 7x plus the x gives me negative 6x. I divide both sides by negative 6, and I get negative 3 equals x. I combine these like terms, negative 5x and a negative 7x give me negative 12x. I divide both sides by negative 12, and I get 1 equals x. Negative 12 divided by negative 12 is 1. I put my positive 4x with my minus 8x, and so that gives me negative 4x. I bring everything else down. I then subtract 5 from both sides, so a 1 minus 5 gives me negative 4. That cancels this out over here. That's why I did it. I got rid of it over on this side. I then divide both sides by negative 4 to get my x by itself, because this means negative 4 times x. I'm going to divide by negative 4, and that gives me my x by itself. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 over here gives me 1, so my x equals 1. I could always go back and check my answers. I take this 1 and I put it in here, and guess what? When you take this, let me work it backwards, this would be 8 times 1 is 8, minus 4 times 1, which is 4. So 8 minus 4 gives me that 4, and then you're adding 5, and it should equal your 1. Actually, and I was saying that backwards. You might as well just look at it this way, but I'm going to have my equal 1 over here. If I add 5 plus 4, that gives me 9 minus 8. 9 minus 8 equals your 1. Okay, that's a better explanation for it. I was saying minus 4. No, it's minus 8. So moving on, I have negative 2m and negative 8m. That gives me my negative 10m. And then I have plus 5 equals 5. And then I subtract 5 from both sides, and then I divide both sides by negative 10, and I get m equals 0. I'm putting my 2 and my 3n together. It gives me 5n. That equals negative 10. I take negative 10, I divide by the 5, and I get negative 2. Here I put my r's together. I have a negative r and I have a negative 4r. That makes negative 5r. I divide both sides by negative 5. I get my r by itself, and I get negative 10 divided by negative 5 equals 2. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the back too. I know you're going to need this for tomorrow, so go ahead and take a look at these. My 4p and 3p gets 7p. Negative 21 divided by that 7 is negative 3. I got my 2p's together to make 2p, and negative 14 divided by 7 is negative 7, negative 7p. I put my negative 3x and my 5x, and I get 2x. It should be an x. And then I add 7 to both sides. In order to get rid of this negative 7, I got to add 7 to get 2x by itself. That's why I did it. I'm getting this x by itself. So adding 7 to this side also, you got to do to one side of the equation, you got to do to the other. So you get 12. I divide both sides by 2, and I get 6. 6 equals x. Once again, you could go back in and plug this in for 6, and all of this would equal 5. I put my x's together and I get negative 3x. I add 7 to both sides, and then I divide by negative 3. I put my x's together and I get 2x. I divide both sides by 2, so I get x equals 3. I put my 8 and my 3 together and I get 11. Then I subtract 11 from both sides. And then I divide by negative 3. I put my n's together and I get just negative 1n. And I have my plus 4, and I subtract 4 from both sides, and I get negative 8 equals negative n. I don't want to know what negative n equals. I want to know what regular n equals. So what I do to one side, I do to the other. So if I get rid of that sign, I get rid of the sign on the other side. Or you can say I'm multiplying by negative 1. So negative n times negative 1 is n. Negative 8 times negative 1 is 8. Think of it either way. I'm putting my 2x and my 4x together. I get 6x. And then I divide by 6, and I get x equals 4. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Try the evens on your own. At least get the like terms combined. At least do that step. If you can go further, and hopefully this helps. Thanks.